Okay, guys, this is Isaiah 14. I'm talking a little quiet because we were up for most of the night, so my wife is went back to sleep. I'm probably going to take a nap here in a little bit because our power had gone out, so everybody was awake. So I read ahead a few hours ago because I couldn't fall back to sleep. Isaiah 14, mercy on Jacob. Wow, this chapter is unreal. The implications behind this are incredible. And so I'm just going to read it, and I'll highlight certain spots as we get to them. Please forgive me as I'm tired. My eyes are all messed up right now. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will still choose Israel. So all those people that are saying the church has replaced Israel, wrong, because the Bible continually says that Israel are still his chosen people. He has something very special planned for them. And settle them in their own land. The strangers will be joined with them, and they will cling to the house of Jacob. Then people will take them and bring them to their place. And I'm not sure what people he's talking about here. And the house of Israel will possess them for servants and maids in the land of the Lord. They will take them captive, whose captives they were, and rule over their oppressors. So what I'm thinking is that this was a change in power where the Jews were under slavery, and it flipped. The roles changed. So the people that were slave owners over them became their slaves. And in a way, after the return from Babylon, it kind of did that. It kind of became that after a fashion. Verse 3, it shall come to pass in the day the Lord gives you rest from your sorrow and from your fear and the hard bondage in which you were made to serve, that you will take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how the oppressor has ceased. The golden city ceased. The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers. He who struck the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he who ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and no one hinders. To me, this seems like it's talking about Antichrist, but it could be talking about a previous time also. Indeed, verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. See, that sounds like tribulation to me. Indeed, the cypress trees rejoice over you, and the cedars of Lebanon. And the cedars of Lebanon, if you look at it from an allegorical standpoint or a representation standpoint, that's in the Bible elsewhere, that's talking about leaders, the cedars of Lebanon. Since you were cut down, no woodsman has come up against us. So when that leader of Babylon was taken out, nobody else had the wherewithal to come in there and stand up against him. So this cedars of Lebanon, this seems like that's leaders that it's talking about. So there's double meaning in here. Now this is really interesting here. This part, listen to this. This is amazing. This is one of the first times I remember clear description of what's in hell. Verse 9, hell from beneath is excited about you, to meet you at your coming. It stirs up the dead for you, all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. They all shall speak and say to you, have you also become as weak as we? Have you become like us? This sounds like they're talking to Satan. Verse 11, your pomp is brought down to Sheol, and the sound of your stringed instruments. The maggot is spread under you, and worms cover you. And here's the commentary, the fall of Lucifer. They're talking to Antichrist. Verse 12, how you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weakened the nations. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Notice he said he wouldn't be better than God. He would be like God. Or he wouldn't be God. He would be like God. Now these are statements he made before the fact. But notice the Bible, when you read the book of Revelation, he stands in the temple and says he is God. So he actually became worse after this and decided he did want to be God. And it's brought his destruction. Verse 15, yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, the lowest depths of the pit. This is before the millennial reign, because everybody after the millennial reign goes into the lake of fire. Verse 16, those who see you will gaze at you, and I love this verse, and I've remembered this verse all my life, and consider you, saying, is this the man who made the earth tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world as a wilderness and destroyed its cities, who did not open the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, all of them sleep in glory. Everyone in his own house. So what that's saying is that whenever he is taken down to hell, when he's imprisoned for 1,000 years, the people that are there, because there's different levels to hell, so there's, people are going to see him fall through, but then the ones that are at the bottom with him, they're going to look at him and go, is this Satan? This is him? See, Satan was a covering cherub. So when they see him, he's not going to fit their idea of what he would look like. Really? This is him? Wow. Because they're going to be shocked. Verse 19, but you are cast out of your grave like an abominable branch, like the garment of those who are slain, thrust through with a sword, who go down to the stones of the pit, like a corpse trodden underfoot. You will not be joined with them in burial, because you have destroyed your land and slain your people. The brood of evildoers shall never be named. It's talking about a complete wiping out of the record of any of these people and him. Verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children because of the iniquity of their fathers, lest they rise up and possess the land and fill the face of the world with cities. Verse 22, for I will rise up against them, says the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant, and offspring and posterity, says the Lord. I will also make it a possession for the porcupine, and marshes of muddy water. I will sweep it with the broom of destruction, says the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so it shall come to pass, and as I have purposed, so it shall stand. No matter what we say or do, what the Lord said is going to happen, period, especially as it applies to his word. Verse 25, that I will break the Assyrian in my land. Now, this is a more direct mentioning of the Assyrian, it pertains to the Antichrist. And this is where a lot of people get the Assyrian. He's going to come out of Syria. Well, the thing is that Assyria as a nation hasn't existed in a long time. That's why I kind of think maybe he's not from Syria. Maybe he is Assyrian by genealogy, that his ancestry. That's where this talk is about children. They're going to destroy the whole line. Verse 25, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and on my mountain tread him underfoot. Then his yoke shall be removed from them, and his burden removed from their shoulders. This is the purpose that is purposed against the whole earth. There's more tribulation talk there because the whole earth is affected by this. And this is the hand that is stretched out over all the nations. For the Lord of hosts has purposed, and who will annul it? His hand is stretched out, and who will turn it back? And now we see what's going to happen to Philistia. The Philistines have no hope in what they're trying to do. They are not going to gain land, period. Verse 28, this is the burden which came in the year that King Ahaz died. Now here we have it directly relating to Ahaz and the people of that time. But you can read this for yourself and like, wow, this is tribulation. Yeah, dual fulfillment. Verse 29, do not rejoice, all you of Philistia, because the rod that struck you is broken, for out of the serpent's roots will come forth a viper, and its offspring will be a fiery flying serpent, great red dragon. The firstborn of the poor will feed, and the needy will lie down in safety. I will kill your roots with famine, and it will slay your remnant. He's going to wipe them out of existence. 31, wail, O gate, cry, O city, all you of Philistia are dissolved. For smoke will come from the north, and no one will be alone in his appointed time. What will they answer the messengers of the nation? That the Lord has founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall take refuge in it. Wow. Again, clearly we can't cover everything in here, but wow, look at all this that's in here. He's referencing the time that he's talking and referencing future times. We're clearly seeing dual fulfillment contained in this. Powerful, man, really powerful. One of my favorite verses is in here too. That they're all going to be down there, and they're going to see him coming. And when he's chained to the wall, they're going to walk up and look at him and go, "Is this the deceiver of nations? Seriously? What shame he's going to have to endure for 1,000 years as they're all down there wagging their head like, really? We fell for you? We got ourselves put here because of our decisions and our mistakes and the things that we did, but it was all cornered off of you? Wow." You can imagine when he's released after the millennial reign, how much more angry he is. But we know how that's going to end. Because no matter what Satan says, no matter what he does, you can always remind him of what his future holds. And that he has not a future. Remind him of where he's going and where you're going. Powerful stuff, guys. Powerful, powerful stuff. So tomorrow will be Isaiah 15, proclamation against Moab. Now, Moab is a different animal. But all these people that are being named, all these nations being named, all have their part to play in the end times. And it's really funny that they're very specifically named and they're on the world stage today. So it all fits. And what some of the detail that's in here is just astonishing. All right, guys, that was Isaiah 14. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.